All right, Mike. So we talked a little bit about how you feel you have trouble with distance control here.
Hmm.
How how do you go about controlling the distance, or what do you think about that makes you hit shots um, shorter or longer based on the trajectory?
I would just try to like control it with my tempo more than anything. Try
Okay.
to slow it down maybe, or if I have a little bit longer one, speed it up,
Okay.
or just try to feel the shot basically.
How about the length of your swing? Do you think about that very much, or
Not really.
no? Just trying to do it. You're basically just feeling.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, that's certainly a way to do it, right? Right? And that would work. In fact, if I changed my tempo, I would change the energy output, which would change that. Um, now let me suggest something to you that I think would be a little more concrete and maybe a little more reliable. I like having on really all my swim shots a routine tempo or the same sort of tempo over and over, and then vary the length of the energy based on how much energy I store. Basically, I'm limiting my backswing to some extent, and that will, I don't have to change my tempo.
Hmm.
And I find that I could get consistent output that way, where maybe sometimes working on tempo alone or just kind of feel it may get some shots where they can come out hot and low and high and so
Yeah.
it wouldn't be really
So that's
consistent.
what kind of happens sometimes.
Does that happen? Okay.
Yeah.
So, I like to have, if I can, I'll
Yeah.
demonstrate, right? Right. But to me, it feels like my full swing goes so far, my shoulder swing goes so far, and my elbow swing goes so far, right? It's basically the height of my left hand, elbow, shoulder, full,
Okay.
right? And that produces the swing. Some people use the clock method, right? To me, this is just me. The clock method, it was sort of hard to define because I don't feel or see a clock. So it's
More feel if you have your arm.
I can yeah
Right
I
here,
have a
here, here.
sensation both where about how high my elbow is, and I guess some people might call that a 9 o'clock position, right, or a 10:30 position,
Yeah.
right?
Oh.
But I like kind of feel like okay, my elbow's about that high, my shoulder's about that high, right?
Mhm.
So I call it an elbow and shoulder shot. You can define it however you would like. The idea is that we're changing the output, not the tempo.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll go in here and we're gonna hit a little shot here. Let's go shoulder. Right?
Short of it.
And so that's a shoulder. And if I go elbow now, I'm not gonna change the tempo, but I am gonna change how far the golf club goes back. And so that takes
Yeah.
10 yards off it,
Hmm.
right? Let me see. I'd like you to hit some shots. Let's not worry about where they end up initially, but I want to see you hit a series of shots where you're going to hit the same tempo, right? And you're going to hit your shoulder shot,
Okay.
okay? And let's just kind of find out.
You want me to go like one shot, shoulder, elbow?
Let's just set a tempo for now.
Okay.
So let's go shoulder, 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 shoulder,
Okay.
right? And then we're going to go shoulder, elbow,
Sounds good.
right? Those two are on top of each other, right?
Yeah.
So you can see basically about where those fly,
Yeah.
right?
It's about the right distance for 75 yards.
Perfect. So let's get a little elbow shot in here. same tempo, right? Just a little shorter
Just a little
energy output. And you'll probably naturally feel that because I'm not quite going back so far in the backswing, the follow through may feel a little more abbreviated as well, right? Not that I'm trying to shorten the backswing or the follow through, it just
Yeah, it just naturally does.
it happens, yeah. So that's about,
Right on top of it.
yeah, 10 yards off, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to have you practice those things, and I'm going to have you chart that information, right?
Okay.
So what do we have? We have your wedges are
52, well, my pitching wedge 48, 52, 56, 60.
okay. Let's start with 60, 56, and 52, right?
Okay.
And I want you to give me the full yardages, right? I want you to know the shoulder yardage, and I want to know the elbow yardage for our next session.
Okay.
Okay. Now, once we get those kind of calibrated, right, we'll have 9 different. So 3 with the full, 3 with the shoulder, 3 with the elbow. So that's 9 different yardages, right? From that point, we can also modify a little way, and we'll put the ball a little farther back,
Okay.
right? So we have a shoulder shot low trajectory, we got a shoulder shot mid trajectory, and then we can experiment with maybe just opening the face a little, ball a little more forward, shaft a little more neutral, we'll have a high trajectory.
Okay.
So then we'll have
18,
this,
I guess.
we'll have a whole conglomerate of yardages that we feel that we can do and different trajectories,
Yeah.
right? So I don't want you to come to a yardage that's, in that 50 to 90 range or something less than full swing, where it feels like I'm just trying to feel it, right? We want to go at it with a plan the same way we do the plan with the rest of the swing. Right? We want to attack a number, I got this really specific number. Oh, perfect. I got that yardage. That's a shoulder 60. That's a perfect shoulder 60, right? And so now you're thinking about hitting it inside the length of the flag stick instead of kind of just, posing it up there.
Yeah.
Right? So that can get real specific, and I think it's a really fun thing to do.
Yeah.
One of the things that I would recommend when you practice this is go to an open field or go to something that's relatively flat, and we're only going to measure carry yardages.
Okay.
All right. And when you're doing it, I don't want you to have a yardage in mind specifically, right? Let's start by hitting
Feeling the shot and seeing where it ends
exactly.
up.
We want to set the tempo first, right? Let's say we start with a 56 and we're gonna hit a whole bunch of shoulder 56s, right? Maybe I aim in a different direction, right? And I'm gonna hit a whole bunch of elbow 56s in a pile somewhere else,
Okay.
right? And then do the same thing with different trajectories and all of that. And then maybe put your bag down, walk out, shag them up, and laser the average, right? And so that one of the things that I've noticed when I've given this to somebody before when they have flags is they tend to adapt to the flag distance, right? I want you to be really focused on the tempo and making sure that I can execute shoulder, elbow, full, in different trajectories. And we're gonna chart it all out. Now, initially what you'll have to do is, or at least what I had to do, is I made up a little graph, right? High, mid, low, shoulder, elbow, full, 56, 60, 52 pitch noise, right? And you end up coming with a spectrum of yardages, right?
Really, it should cover every yardage that you might
Exactly.
get on a golf course.
Exactly. So yeah, it should.
Yeah.
I mean, at least within a couple of yards.
Yeah.
Right. And and then we got a good carry number, and then from there we kind of react out to what the conditions are. Whether I have wind in my face, green's firm,
Elevated, whatnot.
elevated, not elevated, whether the green slopes away or toward me, grain, no grain. So that's a really fun way to practice. And And I think it's kind of fun to fill out the chart and say, okay, I got this shot, I got this shot, I got this shot, right? And it tends to build a little confidence, especially for a player that's long like you are, say par fives, right?
It is a yardage I really like.
Yeah.
And I know automatically I've got that.
Yeah. Well, with this, you're going to like every yardage.
Yeah.
Right.
Seriously, yeah.
Right. So, you know, that's kind of a fun way to sort of go about it, and I think it's a cool little process to go through. It's something that I constantly check when I'm playing tournament golf myself.
I've seen that, yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, it's also a great way to work on your tempo when you transition and your rhythm and all of that. So,
Carry over into everything else, really.
yeah. So I actually have a little spreadsheet kind of chart for you.
Okay.
When you're done practicing, come by the golf shop. I'll give you one. And then throughout your next practice sessions for the next week, before we meet again next week, you know, see if you can fill out maybe half the chart.
Okay.
Okay? And, you know, I think it's really going to help you
Do some homework.
do a little homework. All right?
Thanks, man.
Yeah, no problem.
See you later.
Yeah, I'll see you next week, right?
Yep.
Okay.
See
Take
ya.
care.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.